If you all remember, I praised 3 idol series that came out in 2020. Love Live Nishosaki High School, Show by Rock Maishu Reshi, and D4DJ First Mix. Now, at the time of writing, all 3 have received a second season, so it felt only right to review all 3 together. But before we get to that, I did do some homework and watched all the original Show by Rock. So before we talk about the new stuff, please allow me to speak of the old. Show by Rock was released in 2015 and tells the story of Cyan, a shy girl who wants to join her high school rock band club, but is too scared to enter the club room. But she magically gets whisked away into her favorite music game, where everyone's an animal and everything runs off song, with bigger name groups coming together to fight off the vague forces of evil trying to steal the power of music. She gets picked up and recruited by Plasmagica after she accidentally saves the day, starting her tale of making new friends, gaining confidence, and saving the day by being the villain trying to use the vague forces of evil to take over the world, then heading back with new confidence so she can join that school club. While some of its characters are simple, it is a story well told, and the distinct animation in the music panels is a very good strength for the series. I would say that if you enjoy idol series, OG Show by Rock is good and worth your time to watch. However, I cannot say the same for Season 2. Season 2 introduces a new galactic threat that will take the return of Cyan to defeat, as well as some help from friends, new and old, to defeat this threat. The concept, unfortunately, is not built upon, as we instead waste time on fun pool time shenanigans. The grand villain is rushed in the last 2 episodes, the hapless band, tricked into being evil to face Plasmagica, barely interacts with them, instead feuding with Krista, who they never actually fight, so we get no payoff. I will say that the boy band story is good, but 1 out of 3 is not a passing grade. But hey, at least we got pool fun times for the fans, that's what they really wanted. Instead, the series needed to focus on having Plasmagica feud with the main villain, Krista feud with Bud Virgin Logic, and yes, that's just how they name these bands, and keep the Shingon Crimson storyline. Then you would have a good season that lived up to the first. But now that's out of the way, let's get to the main event and cover the 3 Season 2s. I'm actually even a little bit excited to check these out. Well, don't get excited for anything, I guess, so you just don't get disappointed when all 3 devolve into idle nonsense with too many characters, no growth. I'll cover these in the watch order, with Show by Rock All-Stars going first. I did wonder why this was being treated as Maishu Reshi Season 2, but I quickly found out why. It's mainly because this is just the story of one of the Maishu Reshi bands met the original Show by Rock bands. This is mainly fan service, as you get to see the 2 interact. The original groups get no real development, they are just there so they don't get fined. At least the boy groups go through the other boy bands, and one of its members gets some development. The girls get minor development, but I really wouldn't call this substantial. This is a crossover first and foremost. A chance to have all the bands come together and do a song to beat the vague forces of evil. But the strength of the cast of the Maishu Reshi bands keep it from getting too boring. But this is a plateau rather than a step forward for this series. Next is Nishosaki High School, and I called it. The addition of the 3 new girls did this series no favor. The first season hadn't fully developed the group, and some of its members still felt underdeveloped, but spending time on adding 3 new ones only makes sure that those girls remain that way. Major story arcs are whether Red and Green will decide to take part in programs that would push them away from each other, as well as the fact that one of the new girls don't think they're taking this club seriously enough. Both are fine arcs, I guess, but Nishosaki's biggest issue is that the characters are kinda bland. The songs and animation are fine, but compared to Superstar, the weakness of characters is rather apparent. I don't think Season 2 is gonna convince anyone that isn't already on board to support this group. But if you enjoyed Season 1, I guess you'll probably enjoy Season 2. But again, a plateau instead of a step forward. Last is D4DJ All Mix, which has a great outro, and that's all I can really compliment. All Mix is another fanservice collab, which requires familiarity with outside material, as the story of the main band we love from First Mix takes a backseat so we can see all 6 bands D4DJ are pushing come together and do a year-long project with monthly performances from one of the 6 bands. That is 24 girls, and that is too many goddamn girls. The worst part, at least for me, is that it stagnates the happy around story. First Mix was them learning their current ceiling, and what I wanted from a second season was to see them break through that ceiling as they get closer and closer to their goal, and maybe even win a competition over its rivals. But now we get the fun episodic story that focuses on them dealing with the major issue of, oh no, one of our members hit her head, and now she can only speak in English. But hey, would you like to see what the other bands are working on and their problem of the month storylines? No, Allmix, I don't. Should I blame a series for being something other than what I wanted? No. However, I will be choosing not to recommend this series to anyone outside the D4DJ fandom. So unfortunately, I can't recommend any of these season 2s outside of their specific fandoms. Which is a shame, as I found all their first seasons a good starting point for developing a taste for idol animes. But unfortunately, that's just how this cookie crumbles.